and I'm almost on the verge of completing my master's and just like few weeks less to completing the degree. Right now, I'm doing my internship. That's like a work integrated learning program with Bolton Clark Research Institute. So, pretty much, I'm working as a student researcher. So, this particular institute is focused on improving the aged care. So they are Australia's largest not-for-profit organization who is more focused on improving the well-being and the happy aging for the aged care people. I don't know how this seeing the drastic differences and the interest in the aspects of the field of health. We don't know how established the aged care is in India because, as we know, we all have like our grandparents or everyone just at home. We don't have anything such as aged care facilities, even though we do. It's not well known or renowned throughout everywhere. But here it is one of the leading sector of health where people are prioritizing more. So there are particular sectors. One among that is the public aged care in here. So this particular research institute runs so many grants, researches, government researches. So they focus on how to implement policies which will be beneficial both for the workforce as well as the aged care people. So this particular internship is giving me a lot of opportunity. So I'm working under the guidance of Reina, Dr. Reina. So she is the Diabetic Association Director of Australia. So that's where I gain a lot of expertise from her as well as her team with fellow researchers. So everyone from different field of experiences and what they share. And many of them are people living with the diabetes itself with academia. So these people have more knowledge about what they are working on. So working with them and being how to implement the policies, because basically all the policies needs to be like um, fit to your health, not just for the community or just for the societal level. It should accommodate at all the grades, starting from micro level, that's the individual level, the meso, the organizational level, and the macro level. So you have all these levels. So we should try and accommodate everyone's needs in this one policy. So that's how this public health policies work. So that's what I'm currently working on at the moment. And my transformation from India to Australia. So we all came from a very different educational pattern. So mostly all over India, we just have this pretty much basic concept. So we all just get taught in a class and we attend the lectures and we just like read everything at the end of the like just before the examinations and everything, and we just used to like memorize everything and try to write whatever or as much as we can at the examination. But that's not how the education system works here. It was a complete transformation. The professional academia, whatever they are expecting in here, is completely different. So it's pretty much about perspectives. So being here in Melbourne from one of the greatest educational provider, Deakin University. So in here, it's more like I have a multicultural background of people in here. So India itself is multicultural, but apart from that, I have like the university itself have more students from many parts of the world. So it gives us different perspectives about the different health system. And in these lectures, we generally have it's not like a lecture, it's more like a seminar. So it's more like an interaction where they just give a topic and we need to discuss with the fellow students. So that's when I came to realize the education system is how we interact and how we share our perspectives, because sharing is when we develop our ideas don't come easily. When we start speaking with someone about something, that's when the ideas spark to us. So that way, that's when this educational system was easy for me to adapt, because I'm a social person. I love to interact with people and I just build up communication as much as I could. So professionally, my PharmD degree helped me to be compatible with this expectation of professionalism in here, because we don't have English as our first language. We are not English native English speakers. And surviving in an environment where the native English speakers here are. So it was not kind of difficult, but adapting to the different pronunciations, the ways, and everything. It was kind of different, but still people were welcoming, and I didn't face any indifference in here. I just felt like being away from home in a home. So that's what Melbourne just gave me the feel of being as an international student in here. And mostly this is about the professional transformation which I needed to have in here. There were pretty much few challenges because with a degree in pharmacy in India, I just had a blind idea, thinking maybe if I move to Australia, I would definitely love to do a part time job. So that's when I thought, why not gain an experience by working in a pharmacy? Being a pharmacist in here is not possible. As we all know, we definitely need examination, licensed examination, and clear the examinations to get in our license as a pharmacist in here to practice as a pharmacist. But I didn't expect too much out of it. I just wanted to practice as a retail pharmacist. So a retail pharmacist is more like stocking the drugs, and it's nothing pretty much clinical. It was more like a basic level. So I just thought maybe I could get in, but it itself was challenging. So with a degree, having a PharmD degree, still with some idea of drugs and how it works and everything, still they don't recognize it here. So it was pretty much challenging, and it was disheartening for me as well at the start, because I came up with the dreams of working as well as studying at the same time, so that I'll be able to manage my expenses, because I would like to stay independent in that way. But unfortunately I couldn't get into a pharmacy. So that was one thing with a PharmD degree, which I thought of could be helpful in here, wasn't. But was just in a second aspect. But if you are planning on becoming a proficient pharmacist here in Australia, the pathway is completely different. I would like to elaborate on it in the coming minutes. And second thing is about the work-life balance. So being a student and balancing your work as well as wherever you're staying, it's your personal life, your university work, as well as your educational academia and everything. So trying to balance everything was hard, because when I was at home, you just go to college. uh, Even though I tutored for kids for abacus, that was something different. It was not consuming a whole lot of my time. It was just like 3 to 4 hours per week. But this working life atmosphere, like 24 hours per week on top of your university work and everything, it was taking a toll on my health and my sleep, and the change in the time zone. It was difficult for me to adapt from India to Australia, because Australia is like 4.5 hours ahead of India. So being a traveling in time and trying to maintain the contact with my family, so I had to like missing all the sleep, working on the assessments, and everything was getting very hard for me. And I didn't give up. So one thing is, I did not give up. I was determined, because it was my decision to come here. I decided to endure the hardship, and just it'll be fruitful one day. So I just didn't give up on myself. Okay, it's just some sleep at some days, but I will compensate that in the days when I'm getting most of the holidays. That work life balance will be very much good when we are in the professional field, because the work life here in Australia is very flexible for everyone. Because it's like more like a Monday to Friday, it's like 9 to 4. Saturday, Sundays are always off. So it's not a compulsory like in India, you need to work on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you need to work on the alternate weekends. So nothing like that. the work life is very flexible, but being a student and trying to manage a job, that is difficult. That is something different, and it is kind of difficult because you will have a lots of stuffs to read, to work on. Because as I said, the assessment pattern is completely different. It's about assignments, it's about group discussions, and it's more about a group assignments. So you need to organize a group meeting to make sure that everyone are on the same board with the topic, and there has to be a equal contribution from everyone, and the timings won't be compatible with everyone because everyone's schedule looks different. And to balance everything on top of that, that's when we all start losing ourselves. So we shouldn't give up. So I didn't give up on myself. I used to reflect if I made some mistake, say professionally or in academically, if I couldn't improve in my assessments. What I did was I just used to reflect how or what I did. So where I made mistakes. So I just look a second time or a third time. I just used to read it again and again till when I just get an understanding and convince myself, yes, this is where I went wrong. Maybe next time I have to improve it. So that's when, so reflection, that's what I reiterate to everyone, personal reflection. So personal reflection is something we should always be practicing, because in any stage of life, with any field, with any work or all stages, it's like personal reflection. If we keep reflecting on what we did, be it a success or be it a failure, we have to reflect, because with success we will take away, we will take out all the good things and we will try to keep working on it even better. But with our failures, we will see where we have made mistake, when we will always try to not repeat it and improve ourselves. So personal reflection and self reflection is one thing which I pursued. That's one thing which I learned as well, to how to tackle my challenges in here. And pretty much this was about my master's transformation from a doctor degree, from a pharmacy degree to a public health degree. And hopefully I'm just waiting to like get into the field and have a very good experience of how the policies are being issued at a government level, at the state level. And there have been people quite asking me why you could have pursued your MPH back in India. Why not in why in Australia, and why not in India? I would like to tell that no, India is also a better place to learn. But I decided to do it in Australia because it is from a developed country. So their level of a medical system is completely different. Their way of working is completely different. If I want to improve India, I definitely need to learn from somewhere else and try to come and implement that in our country in some way that it's going to be very beneficial. So that's what I wanted to do, and that's the reason I am pursuing my public health degree here in Melbourne. And I could see like so many of you have joined this session. I don't know I'm not so sure like what you guys expected out of this session, but definitely I'm not going to speak so much about myself in the rest of the session. I'm just leaving the rest of the time to every one of you. So the mic is yours. Post your questions. If I definitely have answers, I will try to explain. If not, I will definitely try to refer and help you out, because being a peer mentor, I always think we all learn from each other. It's not like some professional. At any stage of life, we all keep learning. So even if I complete my masters of public health, still I'll be learning a lot. So we all learn from each other, and definitely if you have any questions about like transformation from PharmD, or like if there is any scope for PharmD, like a pharmacist here in Australia, I'll just try my best to answer my question to you.
The session is open for you guys. You can ask questions.
So
Hello, Sun. This is Ashley, and I'm currently a fourth year pharmacy student. And it's like the normal question. I just want to know what's the exact process of getting into the pharmacy field in Australia. Like, uh, like I am a pharmacy student, so can I work as a clinical pharmacist there? So, what is the exact process? Because whenever I look, it's a basic thing. You have to crack an exam, and then you have to do the residency hours. Is it the same thing? Can you add something else?
yes. So there's actually one way, but I don't know if it's being recognized everywhere. But there are some people who I have connected in here from a family background. So most of them are pursuing their master in pharmaceutical sciences. I don't know why, but that's one way because you're going to gain a degree here from Australia. So they are finding that as one way to practice a pharmacy. But being a pharmacy graduate and for studying for 6 years, and again doing a master's for 2 years, it could be a tedious job. But again, this is what again the basic thing, it's more like a skill assessment. You definitely need to crack examination because as caps is being replaced by Oprah from this March 2025, yes, we need to crack the examination. You don't need any prior experience in India. Crack the examination and gain yourself an internship in here, because that's the only way for a pharmacist to enter into Australia, be it from any country or any stream. To practice pharmacy in Australia, you need to either have a degree graduated in pharmacy in Australia, or you need to be registered with the Australian Pharmaceutical Council, APC. So for registering in APC, the only way is to take your OPRA examination. Have I answered your question, Ashley?
Yes, thank you. Yes. I just want to be clear about uh, I think the clinical pharmacy setting is different, right? Like if I give my CAPS exam there, I could work as a community pharmacist, I guess. I'm not sure. Or can I work as a clinical pharmacist in the hospital, like the typical role of the clinical pharmacist? I don't know if you understood
So,
the question.
yeah. So, OPRA examination is for any pharmacist. So, CAPS is being replaced by OPRA this year. So, it's not going to be called CAPS anymore. It's OPRA. So, it is a way for a clinical pharmacy. See, it depends on you're cracking the examination more leaning towards a clinical oriented aspect. Yes, if you are seeking internship to practice as a clinical pharmacist, then you need to seek internships from a clinical pharmacist in here, because that is the only way you can practice as a clinical pharmacist. Here, I don't see much difference between a clinical pharmacist and a community pharmacist. As to mention, the community pharmacist similarly does the 70 to 80% of the job as a clinical pharmacist. The only thing, the difference is the hospital rotation is what the community pharmacist misses. But starting from dose calculations to be honest, doctors are not very much familiar with the drug names. The pharmacist here is the ruler of the drugs, to be honest, because they explain in detail as a clinical pharmacist what we do in India. That's what a community pharmacist does here in Australia. So they just don't dispense the drug. They just speak about drug interactions. They speak about all the aspects and how to be treated. And sometimes doctors discuss with their hospital pharmacist, that is a community pharmacist, about the different treatments of drug. Yes, but the pattern is same. Oprah, get your internship secured with a clinical pharmacist, and yes, 1 year of internship, and then you can practice as a clinical pharmacist here in Australia.
Thank you, Sandhya. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So there's hi Tyson. So your question was the skills most valued for a public health graduate. So when you're entering into a workforce as a public health graduate, they mostly expect you to have a very good communication, a communication skill. That's what these are the skills which I would like to speak most about is communication, because that's when a public health professional is like a link between all the stakeholders. So when you're about to implement everything, so the first thing where they ask about is communication, how effectively are planning on communicating between a normal layperson a government politician or be a health professional or any other aspects of the field. Only as a public health professional needs to communicate it effectively. So one is communication, and the next one is transferable skills like a research skills, because I think research is the way a public health professional will be ascertain things, because you only with the research skill we will be able to know if it is the right or the wrong. So the research skills which I would like to reiterate, and critical thinking, thinking out of the box. It is not like everyone, it's like everyone will get a simple idea. If I'm going to give some topic, pretty much it's going to be like, okay, this is what we do. But being a pharmacist, the critical aspect is like thinking at the whole level of the world, say like the individual, societal, community, and environmental, social. So you have a very lots of levels in a public health, and we start studying it. So we have to think at all the levels, and that is what they call it as critical thinking and systems thinking. So that's one thing which is necessary. And apart from that, I could speak about problem solving. Yes, these are some of the skills which they look forward to have as a public health professional. So the four skills which I would always speak about is communication, critical thinking, and problem solving, and the teamwork as usual. So when we are developing a policy, it's with the teamwork when we are coordinating with everyone. And yes, so this way we will be able to give an shine as an effective public health graduate when we are entering into the workforce. Okay, so I hope I have answered almost a little of your question. And the next one is, how will we prepare for exams in Australia for a pharmacy job? So, preparing for pharmacy. So, I have actually prepared a slide for you guys. Maybe I'll try to share this slide. Uh, Maybe you can make note of it. Just a moment. So, is my screen visible?
Yes,
Perfect.
ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, all good. So with this, you all can see that there are a list of links which I have sent. So if you go through the Australian Pharmacy Council, the APC, so with this first link, it will directly guide you to what are the things you need to prepare for OPRA exams. So if I'm going to click on that, I don't know if it's not going to share the screen, but let me just try a moment. Yeah, I guess my screen is visible. So, whatever anything related to practicing as a pharmacist here in Australia, you can refer to anything related to the websites of any other agencies. You know, there might be lots of agencies who is like trying to promote, like, you want to practice pharmacy in Australia, try to do this, try to do that. Yes, they are useful, but I can't guarantee you, they also can't guarantee you 100% that you will secure a job, because currently in Australia it's very competitive. So I would always like you to always rely on the government websites. So here in the Australian Pharmaceutical Council website, you could see what are the things they are providing. So one such thing in here is uh, how to prepare for the examinations. So what are the things that needs to be done, and what it will be like a very good elaborative things, like what are the aspects you need to prepare. So there's one more thing, it's like how the scope of the examinations will be, like what are the areas which you need to prepare. Maybe if you're planning for your pharmacist, practicing your pharmacy as a pharmacist here in Australia, the one thing which I would like to tell is, you need not take any gap years for preparing the examinations, be it a B Pharm graduate or a PharmD graduate, if you're seriously passionate, because even you can start studying or preparing for the examinations from third year or fourth year. So it's more like it'll be aligned with your studies because you will be already studying the units which are necessary for the examination. If you are going to like prepare post sixth year, it's like you have to always rewind. I don't know how effective it will be. Maybe you can start preparing for the examination if you're so passionate about being a pharmacist somewhere. It's not just Australia, it can be any country. The examination pattern varies, and the scope and how they are going to ask, everything may vary. But if you are determined that you need to work as a pharmacist abroad, you just need to start preparing it from year one. So you could do it post your fifth year or sixth year, but if you start preparing from year one, you're just training yourself for that, you're building yourself, so you will be equipped with all the knowledge you need to, so you can give your exams, then you can secure your internship here, and that's how the process is done. So I this is like 80 per, I'm sure that whatever sharing here is 80% accurate, because I haven't researched so much into the field of pharmacy because I have derailed from pharmacy to public health. So I'm sticking to public health at the moment, but I just researched a lot for you guys. I know everyone will be concerned about pharmacy. So I did my research, and I'm sure 80% confident that all the results which I have gathered and given here is correct. So you can definitely refer to these websites for further information. I guess, Abhirami, I have answered your question. If you have anything in detail, you could post your question further. Thank you. And is it best to take Oprah or join any course in any university? Hi, Sheikh. So your question seems very good. But if we are already having a very good education from our university, say some universities, they provide quality education regarding all the aspects. I don't know if every university is teaching in detail about drug calculations or thermodynamics, and there are lots of things happening, and I'm not so sure how it is uh it's like progressing, or how we are going to adapt to it. But yes, if you are feeling confident, I could tell one thing. It's opera preparation. Till now what I have read is like it's more about clinical experience. The more you interact in your clinical rounds, the more you learn from the doctors or the practitioners or from your day-to-day experiences. Yes, the more you will be able to approach the question easily. It's more about approaching, because there are ways in which we need to approach. As in opera, the way of education is different again. So we need to learn the ways in which they are practicing. So maybe we could always have a look at the practice papers and see how things are working. And yes, if you are confident and if you have answered at least 50% and you think, I could do that if I prepare that by myself at home, it's more like a need, to be honest, but in a pharmacy field. If you think you're confident enough with the concepts which you have learned from your year 1 to year 6 in your family career, and if you think yes, I could do, then definitely you can sit at home and prepare. But if not, if you think no, I'm not so sure with drug calculation, why I'm reiterating on this particular topic is because drug calculations, the most people fear about is drug calculations, because there is different calculations for different everything. We know there's so much calculations, so they are so concerned about the calculations in here. So we need to learn in detail about the calculations. I don't know if we all have learned in detail about it, but we all won't learn everything in one day as well. It's just with practice. So try to make use of your internships or whatever you're doing from your fourth year, fifth year, sixth year. Try to make use of it and keep practicing. Interact with more doctors, interact with your senior clinical pharmacists from the hospitals, learn a lot, because that's what, try to extract knowledge from them, like try to gain all the knowledge however you could, because if you are if you gain such knowledges, it'll be easy for you to navigate further, so it'll help you to answer the questions for yourself. Yes, if you could continue say I could do it but that by myself or by the agency. So the answer is up to you. But if you surely want to get into Australia and practice as a pharmacist, then definitely approach an agency because prior to the COVID, it was easier getting as a pharmacist here in Australia. But in recent times, I have heard people sharing their concerns that it's so hard getting to practice as a pharmacist here in Australia because the restrictions and the norms which they have posed, the expectations have become so high that cracking the examinations, and you can crack the examination, but getting your internship here and getting your license here, it has become a very tedious process. So I guess we that one thing which we can't do by ourselves, maybe the agencies might help us with that. So before going into any research, just kindly interact. I know all of you are there in your LinkedIn. Please make use of your LinkedIn as much as you could. Try to connect and interact with the clinical pharmacist who have their degree back from India, who is practicing as a pharmacist here in Australia. Try to interact with them. Try to get the scope of what they are doing, what the expectations have changed at the moment, because each year, with each financial year, everything keeps changing. So in that aspect, I would like you to connect and interact with more people just to get have a clarity on what you're planning to do. I guess this answers your question. Okay, thank you, Sheikh.
Hello,
And
ma'am.
hi, yeah, hi.
Ma'am, I'm Mandira, a PharmD second year student. And my question is, what job opportunities can one get after MPH in Australia, ma'am?
Okay, so public health is a nutshell. There is a broader scope. So, being a public health anywhere, it's not just Australia, having a public health degree, you can enter into the fields. So, I'm just going to name the fields in which you could be as a public health professional. So, first, you could be as an epidemiologist. The second one is about a community health worker. And the third one is about disease and infection investigator and environment health specialist, because environment health is also a major thing in public health which is interlinked with every other health aspects. So environment health specialist, and you can become an urban planner. So urban planner is we have that in all the developed countries, something called urban planning. So it's about how to sustain the life in the modern city, yet maintaining a healthy life. So that's the urban planner's job. And the one is health educator. You could become an health educator by raising like how we do campaigns, awarenesses in our PharmD degree by, about the disease awareness. The same way we could educate people on all the aspects of health, like not clinically, the non-clinical aspects of health, of how they could lead a healthy life and everything. And about be a public health policy coordinator, which I will always tell, public health always comes with policy. They play a major role in policy. So you can become a policy coordinator and again research analyst. Research is in every field, and you could become a research analyst. And there is one thing again, like emergency preparedness and response coordinator. So for example, any natural calamities, or in case of COVID, yes, these are the opportunities. You can become lead and design a plan, emergency plans, and everything, how to take care of people's health, what are the supplies that needs to be done, how we can sustain the life of the workers as well as the people. So these are the fields where you can pursue. These are the designations of the field which I'm telling, but the places where you will be working are like the World Health Organization, the UNICEF, UNESCO's, the government organizations, the non-governmental agencies, whichever is working on public health awareness programs and everything, anything. Yes, you can get to work anywhere.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, And are there any particular initiatives or advocacy efforts that you believe we family students should be focusing right now?
Um, you're like asking in the perspective of a family student or in a general perspective?
Family students, ma'am, like for professional recognition that we could get.
Okay. So, for professional recognition, being a family graduate here in India, uh, the one thing which we could keep looking upon is like start building your skills, because whatever we are learning from our universities is not going to be enough. Start developing your skills, because your skills are the one key tool which is going to be helpful for you anywhere, for any field or any stream. So I guess develop your skills, and you could look something broader than what you're learning, like go into the fields which you are interested on, try to get interactive, try to learn, and as much as start gaining your recognition. You do whatever you need to do, you feel confident on doing, because if you think like, yes, I would like to start doing this and everything, fighting for public health, so fighting for families, like we need recognition and everything, that's not going to be honest, that's not going to take us anywhere, because people have been doing that for a quite long time to get a recognition for studying family in India. It's taking place, but it's like a tortoise. It's taking at a very slow pace. It's not something we are expected to see like a drastic change within a 24-hour. It's taking the when I joined Pharmdy and I completed Pharmdy, and the way the Pharmdy is gaining recognition at the moment is completely different. So it has risen, but it's not a drastic rise. It's somewhat 10 to 20% rise, but that's good, because something is better than nothing. So we keep pursuing that. We should not sulk that, oh my god, I have taken Pharmdy, I don't know how my career is going to go. Still, there are successful people post PharmDs. I have my friends, my colleagues, my seniors who are succeeding after PharmD. Not everyone decided to pursue something else. It's just passion which takes them. So if you're passionate about pharmacy, just work for that.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. It was very informative.
Thank you. So the duration of
Ma'am,
public
can I
health.
ask a question?
Uh,
Like, what is the tuition fee for public universities for MPH programs and all?
Yeah, sure. So here in Australia, the fee varies from the ranking of the universities. So if you are planning on doing in one of the G8, so G8 is nothing but one of the recognized universities in Australia. So the ranking, the from the ranking of the university, the fee structure varies. So it starts from $108,000 for a course of 2 years, that is in a premium institute. But if you are looking for somewhat which is going to be pocket friendly and which will still give you a good experience, so it could start from $50,000 for 2 years.
Thank you, ma'am. And there are other questions like they have posted us. What jobs can I get after MPH in Australia?
I guess I have answered that question with Mantira, because if anyone wants me to explain about it again, I could definitely tell. So it's most about having a public health degree. You could become an epidemiologist, a community health officer, environment health officer, policy. You could become a policy coordinator. You could become an urban planner, health educator, a global health professional, a research analyst. So these are some of the designations which I'm looking upon. Apart from this, there are lots of specialization which you could develop. So something, say, health promotion officer. So that's something which I haven't heard back in India, but which is having a very good scope here in Australia and the rest of the world. Health promotion is something, it's interconnected with public health. Public health is not without health promotion. So a healthy life starts when people believe that health in a good way, that health can be promoted in a very good way, not without like giving scares about people that if you don't do this, you're going to be suffering this and this. Promoting health in a healthier way, that's one field which is gaining a lot of recognition. So you could become a health promotion officer. So that's leaning more towards a qualitative research. So there are different types of research. So if you would like to become an epidemiologist or a statistician, you're leaning towards quantitative research, which is going to involve epidemiology and statistics. If you are leaning towards a health promotion officer or community health worker or a health educator, you are leaning more towards the health promotion aspect. So in this, it'll be more about a qualitative reading. So with quantitative readings, it's more about your objective findings. With the qualitative reading, it's more about the subjective findings. So as a researcher, I try to um, interpret the result as it is from how the I'm taking the interviews from the audience. So it's not about my perspective, it's about the societal perspective. So that's more about a qualitative research. So these are some of the areas which you could work post your public health degree.
Ma'am, there is one more question. Are there any scholarships for MPH in Australia?
Okay, so there are lots of scholarships. It particularly varies from university to university because we can't get the Australian government scholarships because we are not the citizens. We are not entitled to those scholarships. But we, as an international students, are have the privilege of gaining scholarships from the university. So if we are having a very good degree, say about 75% in your family as an overall for your 6 years. If you're having a 75 degree, you can expect a minimum of 20% to 25% of scholarship from your whole total fee. So it reduces almost to 25%. You should imagine how helpful it will be when you're converting the fees. But if you really have 80 to 85% of mark with your anything more than 80, I guess the scholarship amount varies because with many universities, I have known students who have gained 50% scholarships, 30% scholarships, and even 75%. If they believe you are like impeccable, and if they think you are definitely someone whom the university thinks you will ace everything, and they'll definitely provide so lots of scholarships and make you study at the university because they will get the recognition because such student has done so and so. It's going to gain name to the university. In that aspect, scholarships, you have to look at the scholarships and everything when you are interested for the any course, not just public health, any course in Australia. You have to do the basic search. You can approach any agencies, they might help you. They will just they will just make it easy the conveniently for the way they think because they depend on the commission they are receiving on. At the end of the day, you are the person who are going to read for yourself. So I would always tell, if you're planning on anything in future related to your job or even to your studies, I would always like you to do the basic research before going to anyone, because you definitely need to have some idea of what you are speaking or what you are thinking about even before listening to others' perspective. So even right now, I am studying public health. I could speak a lot. But if you had known what public health is previously, what I am speaking might be relatable to you. But or sometimes it can be contradicting, but it doesn't mind. But that's the way it is. You always need to do your preliminary research, and yes, scholarships are available. You can know about scholarships from each university from the university's website.
Ma'am, what is the post-study work visa after MPH?
for MPH. So in Australia, I guess post COVID, everything has changed. So prior to COVID and during the COVID time when the students were not in check, it was 5 years post study visa. But at the moment, for public health or any other degree in Australia, is entitled to post study work visa of 3 years. And that too, that doesn't come easily. You again have to take your IELTS or PTE, you have to take your health examination, and you need to pay for your visa fee again. So the way they tell, it's not like 2 years of exam education plus 3 years of visa. No, it's not the way. For 2 years of visa of educational visa, you need to make a separate payment. You need to take your English exam as a student and your health checkup. Again, when you're transforming from a student to a temporary graduate, a graduate and a temporary work visa TR, so you that's subclass 485. So you need to again take your English test, your PT or IELTS, general, and you need to make a fee payment. And yes, the duration is 3 years in Australia anywhere, be it a city or a regional area.
Thank you, ma'am.
So there are few scope questions about duration of MPH in Australia. So the duration here is 2 years. If you consider any other countries, it might be 1 year or 1.5. In Australia, the semester pattern varies because it's not like unlike US, UK, or Ireland or anything. It's not like September or January. The semester starts here in February and the second semester is in July. So it's February and July pattern. This way, it will be calculated pretty much like 1.5 years, which is equivalent to 2 years of your master's. And the scope of what can we expect as a clinical pharmacist in Australia? So that's again a very good question. So I just shared my experience of what I know about pharmacy, about the examinations, but the scope is nothing but you will get a recognition of job, but nothing beyond hospital clinical pharmacist, or you could get into research as a research pharmacist, being a clinical pharmacist and part of a research. Yes, you could be. And something related to again policies. I'm not so sure if how clinical pharmacist plays a major role, but yes, they do if it's going to be anything related to clinical aspects of any medicines in that way. But pharmacist in general is considered as a very good value here in Australia because there is always demand for pharmacists. But I don't know why they are not giving recognition for us overseas students. But there is always demand for pharmacists here in Australia with a very good salary provision because pharmacists again are one among the workers who get paid somewhat moderate, not superior or not inferior. They get paid moderately. And yes, that's more feasible to have a very good living condition here in Australia.
There is one more question. Can I get PR after MPH in Australia?
That's a big no. I don't know how many had this very good idea because there is the MPH is not a pathway for a permanent residency in Australia. The right now or each and every year, the list of skills which they are providing for a permanent residency varies. So I guess MPH has been removed from that list just from 2019 or 2020. They just removed that from the permanent residency list. Yes, MPH is not a pathway for PR here in Australia. But you could transform you could pursue your public health. You could gain work experience if you have exceptionally performed well with your work, and if the government seems you fit, then definitely if you apply your permanent residency with say a 2 or 3 years of experience in the field, then yes, you are definitely eligible because health is one of the field which they won't deny a permanent residency. unless and until it comes with a catch, you need to have a relevant field experience. And yes, there might be a probable chance of 70% of getting a permanent residency here in Australia. I guess I have answered almost all the questions. Is there anything else?
Like, would you like to give some of the top universities for MPH in Australia?
Okay. So if you look ranking wise in Australia for public health, Monash University, the University of Queensland, University of Western Australia. So what the three universities which I have stated are in the G8 university. So they have lots of options and opportunities, and yes, the it's very pricey with public health in there, but you gain a very good experience. So the next Deakin University, which I am studying, is not in the G8, but they are having a very good recognition here in Melbourne for public health. If it's going to be a pocket-friendly university with a very good fame and name, Deakin University. If they are looking on the financial aspect, if you think no, it's way too pricey because education in Australia is not very cheap. It is very pricey. So if you think I need a degree, but I need from a reputed university, because here whichever I have seen with any policies or anything, it's not only from major universities, it's from all the research universities, whichever university is having the research facilities, all these universities are contributing to the Department of Health in any way. They are being part of in any project. Say there are lots of health aspects starting from HIV, tuberculosis, cervical cancer, you name, there are lots of different aspects of health and sectors of health. So every university does their contribution in that. So you could see a lots of universities, so which I have stated are the tier 1 universities. So this is what all the educational agencies will tell you, because if you're choosing in the tier 1 university, the rate of rejection of your visa is less. So that's what they tell and they try to force you into, but that's not the case. You have to start researching on it, and if you think this university fits your expectations of what you're trying to gain out of your public health degree, I guess you could do a basic search. But what I have stated, with each area, the weather varies and the climate varies, but the education also varies with each university. So if you same fit that their curriculum goals fit yours, then definitely you can choose any university.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering all the questions deliberately with so much of patience for all the questions over here, and also letting us know what and how to do by giving your own experience. I will say many of them are now clear about all the aspects, including migration, work-life balance, and about the profession. On behalf of RX doctors and the whole team, I will greatly appreciate your time, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I would also like to speak a few things. So I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the organizing committee, that is the RX doctors, along with their organizing partner, STA Premier Clinical Research Institute, for the opportunity to be part of the SYCCON. It is truly an honor to contribute to a workshop that brings together experts from diverse fields, creating a dynamic platform for learning, inspiration, and growth. I'm delighted to be part of this initiative and to support students in navigating their career path with confidence and clarity. To all the students participating, remember, opportunities are always within reach. It is consistent effort and unwavering dedication that pave your way to success. No one is ever truly denied an opportunity. We simply need to recognize and pursue it with passion and perseverance. Trust in your journey and know what your hard work will yield meaningful results in due time. Thank you once again for this wonderful experience.
Thank you for your kind words, ma'am.